Hello fellow crafters, and welcome to another Altenew video hop. The theme for this video hop is Background Bonanza. Information on the giveaway and a list of the hop is in the description below. So as you can see, I've got a few card panels that I'm going to be doing for this video. My motto for this video was really more to keep the backgrounds simple and easy to do, but still have a lot of impact. So the first thing I'm going to start with is some hot foiling. And you can see I've got some brushed gold and the rose brushed metallic cardstock as well. I'm pulling out my hot foil plates and I'm going to be hot foiling this metallic cardstock. And the idea came to me, I can't remember how it came to me. I thought about it and I was like, I wonder if you can foil this cardstock. And I thought, let's give it a try, right? Doesn't hurt to try. And oh my goodness, you can. And the results are absolutely stunning. The pictures do not do these card panels justice. There's so much shine and so much shimmer to both of these panels. You don't really need to add much more. And that's why I said these panels are really simple, really easy to do, but still really, really impactful. So I've hot foiled the flower wreath and the whimsical peony, anyways. And I've used the brush gold foiling on both panels. And here is the wreath. And this is on the brushed rose metallic cardstock. And it is so beautiful. I think this one is actually my favorite. Now here is the peony, and I am using the brushed gold foil on the brushed gold metallic cardstock. And look at this, absolutely beautiful. I've got complete foiling on both panels. I should correct myself. There's a little bitty spot on the whimsical peony that it didn't quite foil, but that's okay. It's barely noticeable. Now, I should note I made probably about 4 to 6 of these panels using the same hot foil plates because I was just so excited and I just loved doing it. So again, like I said, you don't need a lot. And all I'm doing is adding a die cut sentiment to these panels and just being done with it. I used a glitter sentiment on the wreath, and I'm just using some standard black with a vellum shadow, and I am adding a little bit of sequins because I thought it just needed just a smidge more. There's not a lot of sequins. I think I've put 7 on here, but again, so shiny, so beautiful. Again, I was so excited when this worked. I couldn't wait to share it with everybody. I should note as well that this flower wreath and the whimsical peony, they both come with stencils to stencil these. But like I said, I wanted quick and easy backgrounds, but still huge impact. And I think both of these really, really do that. All right, so we're going to move on to my second card panel, and I've pulled out the Shutter cover die. I love this die, and what I'm going to be doing with it is actually the main reason I bought the die. I don't use cover dies very often, and if I do, I never use them, I think, as intended. I like using them as a stencil. I like using cover dies for inlay die cuts. So that's kind of what I like to do with the cover dies. I use the die on some basic cardstock. I put the die cut down, and you can see there I'm just doing a little ink blending with some yellow, moving out and slowly fading out. And what I'm going to do is I've taken some of those inlay dies and I'm just going to ink blend all of those. And I'm using the same yellow I put on the card panel because I, again, want to make this a quick and easy background. Now, I am going to apologize for my head. It does get in the way a lot in this video, especially while I'm putting down these inlay dies. Now, of course, I don't actually have to inlay them because I've got those ink blended areas. So the reason my head is kind of in the way is I just want to make sure that they're lined up correctly and put down properly on top of those ink blended areas. And I just randomly took some of those inlays. I wasn't thinking, I just took some and then put them down. I pulled out One Go birthday greetings. I do quite like this stamp and die set just because you can get so much with one stamp and one die. And I find I always pull out one of these greetings. Yeah, they're birthday greetings, but some of them are even just kind of like have a great day. So you don't necessarily have to use them for the birthday. Okay, so you can see here I'm using the Zanzibar watercolor markers, and I just got these and I absolutely love them. And I got them on a retreat, and I never would have purchased them on my own. And I love them so much that all of the other ones went on sale about a week ago, and I snatched them all up. I've colored with them quite a few times, more times than I've ever reached for any other coloring, because I am coloring just on regular cardstock here, but they work beautifully on watercolor paper as well. Now, what I did with my coloring, I actually had these stamped and dyed, these flower clusters stamped and dyed already. So they're creations I created probably about 5 to 6 months ago. And I just put them away to use them later just because I didn't use them. So here is the final panel. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's a clean and simple, and again, really dramatic background. All right, so let's move on to the final card panel. I'm going to ask you to dust off your gel plate. I know I dusted off mine. Maybe you don't need to dust off yours, but I definitely had to dust off mine. And I'm going to pull out one of my favorite embossing folders. This is the Tuft Elegance embossing folders. I love it. I have used it so many times since I got it. I think I've used it more than any other embossing folder. Just gives you a great dynamic background. Okay, so anyways, what am I doing? So what I've done, and I actually already had a little bit of ink on my gel press already because I've made so many of these backgrounds, and that same ink already on my roller. And I'm trying to put tape down here because I want to know where my embossing folder goes. But anyways, let's ignore that. So I'm putting down the front side of my embossing folder. And what I'm doing is I'm going over it, just gently pushing it down and having it come back up, and then pushing it down to the gel press and then having it come back up. Because what that does is it kind of moves the ink around a little bit and gives you a really interesting design. And I've done this with other embossing folders, and you can get some really beautiful results. And you don't want to put too much ink down because you can get kind of this messy pooling on the card panel. So I do recommend using less ink, but use a darker ink. And look at that. It almost looks, I don't know how to say, almost balloonish or bubbly-ish, especially with this particular embossing folder. So because it reminded me a little bit of a balloon, I decided to make this monochromatic birthday card. And like I said, this is really quick and easy to do. And depending on the embossing folder you have, depending how much detail is there, you don't need to add much more to your card panel. I didn't want to add much more to this, just a monochromatic card, just a stamp. I've got some string on my balloon. I'm going to glue that string down to the card. Just in adding a little bit more interest to the card panel, as I'm just going to move that string around like it's flowing. And here is my final panel. Really easy to do. If you were in a pinch to make something, this would give you a great background. All right, here are my finished panels. If you'd like a list to the supplies I used in this video, there is a link in the description below to my blog post, which you will find more photos as well as that supply list. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to move on to the next person on the hop, as well as leaving a comment below. I hope this video inspires you to create something new and unique, and I will catch you at the next project.